Hi everyone, happy April Fools. Okay, that was a bit mean. I am coming back in a way because this month is the month that the first season of Kingscreek, my new project, is releasing. I have been so excited to share this all with you, and it's been absolutely taking everything I can to not just share the whole thing already. So I'm just gonna make a big deal here. April 16th is the day, 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the first episode releases, and then every single Wednesday after that until the season is over. That is the current schedule. And it's going to be available on all streaming, podcast streaming platforms. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on CastBox, all those different places. I'll include links in the description. And if you're still not interested, I will not only play, first of all, the release date trailer after this, I will also give you the first 5 minutes of episode 1. Hope you guys are all doing well. I do hope to come back to doing video essays eventually, but for right now, this is what I've got for you. Hope you enjoy.
Hi, Damien Bachman again. Still figuring out what the first official episode is going to be, so I'm here with an addendum to the previous recording. After I recorded the note I read last time, I found a tape recorder in another drawer of Uncle Mark's desk. It's old, probably late 80s era if I had to guess, and there's already a tape in here. So, I thought I'd play it for you.
September 9th, 1991. Log entry number 001, Mark Bachman recording. So far, success. As of last Friday, I have fully moved into Kingscreek, and already I've seen signs of the paranormal. Just in the last 72 hours, I've already found 2 different credible leads, and I feel as though more are soon to follow. It seems as though those years studying in the field with Raymond are finally paying off. I know that the Pacific Northwest is well-trodden ground in paranormal studies, but I seem to have uncovered a hidden gem. Despite a clear wealth of activity, there's practically no academic literature about this town. No urban legends, no local skeptics. Hell, half the maps of Washington State don't even register it, and yet it's clearly here. An old lumber town with a respectable population of about 5,500 people and the strangest collection of stories I've ever had the chance to look at. It makes me wonder, what else is here? What is the big secret? What exactly am I hoping to find in this collection of curiosities? Well, ideally, something to help me pay off the student loans, but that's probably not going to happen. End recording.
Well, there you have it. He clearly thought there was something strange here, but this is the same guy who once told an 11-year-old me that the woods in his house were full of big spiders that would eat his brains, so I'm not sure how strong of a grip on reality he had, even back in 91. But hey, who am I to judge? I'm the one sitting here and reading his files aloud into a crappy mic, so maybe he got the last laugh. I guess you'll be the judge of that when I make the first real episode of this podcast. This is Damien Bachman, signing off, I guess.
Kingscreek, a new weekly horror podcast from Tracer Magnum Entertainment, premieres April 16th, 2025.
Okay. Right. So, welcome to Unnamed Podcast, Episode 1. Yeah, sure. I'm Damien Bachman, and this is me reading through my uncle's old stuff. That is not a good intro. maybe I should start with some background. My Uncle Mark got his master's degree in parapsychology back in the 90s and then moved out here with my aunt. They lived here for, I want to say, 15 years before he died. It was a stroke or something. I never got the details. Anyway, according to my aunt, when he wasn't with her, his time would either be spent wandering around the woods or the town or up here in his study. Once he died, she never touched this room. Said it wasn't her place. 2 years go by, blah blah blah, enter me. Since moving up here with her, I've had a lot of time on my hands, and I've been spending a lot of that time up in my uncle's old study, going through his old files and things. There's a lot of real wacky stuff here. I don't know if he was actually doing any real research up here, or if he was just writing science-themed horror fiction. Anyway, since he bit it, it's all just been gathering dust up here, so I figured, why not catalog it into a fun little podcast thing? Preserve his legacy or whatever. Could be fun. The file I thought I'd start with is really interesting. A lot of these are collections of other people's eyewitness accounts, but this one is almost entirely my uncle. Its label says, Case A95, Serial Roadside Phenomena. A real eye-catching title, eh? Well, let's see what you think of the actual story. October 24th, 1997. I've been taking a lot of walks as of late. Ever since I was a young boy, I've always found that taking a walk is the easiest way to clear my head. And recently, I've had a lot on my mind, so I've needed to clear it a lot, so to speak. It also helps that this is not an unpleasant town to walk through. The fall air has a pleasant chill, and the neighborhood is perfectly picturesque. It's like walking through a mid-century, fall-themed postcard. It's not just the houses I walk past, though. There's a road that I like to walk down, Gossamer Lane, that cuts through the woods. The part that cuts through the woods isn't very long, probably like 100 feet or so, but it's enough that when you're there, you feel like you're in another world. The trees sway back and forth from the breeze, and the whispers of the leaves drown out any sounds from civilization. It's very peaceful. Or at least, it used to be. One other important detail to note is that this forest is almost entirely oak. Northern red oak, specifically. According to my research into the town's history, this is not accidental. The town's founder, Emanuel Sorensen, was a bit of an amateur arborist and purposefully seeded the forest with red oak to create some kind of consistent pattern. This fact always stuck out to me. An interesting quirk of the town's founder is an easy conversation starter or icebreaker around here. So it struck me as odd that one of the trees by the patch of the road was birch. A very unsubtle birch, too. The white bark stood out like a sore thumb among the dark red sea of the forest. I could never figure out what species of birch it was, either. It didn't seem immediately distressing or harmful, though, so I filed it away as a potential oddity to explore later. Now, though, something has been happening. Something interesting. It started about 3 days ago. I was walking down the wooded section, lost to my thoughts as usual, when I saw something on the road. Something that wasn't moving. Now, I'm no stranger to seeing roadkill. It's an unfortunate truth about our car-dependent society that a certain number of animals will be killed by collisions with or being run over by cars. And that's especially prevalent when the road is by a forest, where animals tend to hang out. But it's still upsetting. When I got there, I kneeled down to examine the body. It was a rabbit. I won't go into too much detail, but it was safe to say that it was definitely dead. Poor little thing. It reminded me of the rabbits I would see outside my window when I was a boy. They always seemed terrified of whatever was lurking around the corner, even if they were all alone.